The sun had barely risen over the village of Umada when the royal palace bustled with preparations for the upcoming wedding of Prince Ikenna to Princess Nneka. The air was thick with excitement, yet beneath the surface lay a tension that threatened to unravel the prince's carefully controlled composure. Ogechi stood by the palace courtyard, her hands nervously clasping a basket of freshly picked flowers. She watched as the servants hurried about, decorating the grand hall for the prince's marriage ceremony. The vibrant colors of the flowers mirrored her inner turmoil. She was deeply in love with Prince Ikenna, yet bound by the traditions that threatened to tear them apart. As the morning sun peeked through the palace windows, Prince Ikenna stole a moment away from the watchful eyes of his family. He found Ogechi in a secluded corner of the garden, where the two had often met in secret. "Ogechi," he whispered urgently, his voice laced with longing and desperation. "I cannot bear this charade any longer. My prince," Ogechi replied softly, her eyes reflecting both fear and hope. "We cannot defy the king's wishes. It's the way of our people." Ikenna took her hands in his, their touch electric with forbidden emotions. "I would trade the crown for a life with you, Ogechi, but what can I do? My father's word is law, and the village expects this union." A gentle breeze rustled the leaves around them, as if echoing their silent conflict. The weight of duty pressed heavily on Ikenna's shoulders, yet the love he felt for Ogechi burned brightly in his heart. In another part of the palace, Queen Lolo Amanda sensed the growing distance in her son. She watched him during meals, his eyes often wandering to places only he seemed to understand. The queen decided to speak with him, hoping to ease whatever burden troubled him. "My son," she began as they sat in the quiet of the royal garden, "you seem troubled. Is it the impending marriage that worries you?" Ikenna sighed, trying to mask his true feelings. "Mother, it is not the marriage itself, but the life that comes with it. I feel trapped between my heart and my responsibilities." Queen Amanda placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "I understand the weight of duty, Ikenna, but you must trust that your father, and I want what is best for you and for Umada. Is what's best a loveless marriage?" Ikenna asked, his eyes searching his mother's face for understanding. "Love can grow, my son. Princess Nneka is a good match, and she will make a fine queen. Give it time," the queen advised gently. As preparations for the wedding intensified, Princess Nneka arrived at Umada with a regal entourage. She was the embodiment of grace and beauty, her presence commanding respect from all who laid eyes on her. Yet beneath her composed exterior was a young woman aware of the role she must play. Ikenna was formally introduced to his future bride during a grand feast held in her honor. As he watched her from across the room, He noted her poised demeanor and delicate smile. There was no denying her beauty, but his heart remained unmoved. Princess Nneka. Ikenna greeted with a practiced bow. Welcome to Umada. Thank you. Prince Ikenna, she replied with a voice as soft as silk. I have heard much about the strength and honor of your village. Their conversation was polite, touching on matters of the alliance and shared futures. However, Ikenna's mind wandered back to Ogechi, whose laughter and warmth felt more genuine than any royal ceremony could offer. Meanwhile, Ogechi wrestled with her feelings. She knew her place within the palace hierarchy and the consequences of crossing the boundaries set by tradition. Yet the connection she shared with Ikenna was undeniable, drawing her into a perilous dance of secrecy and longing. One evening, as Ogechi tended to her duties, she overheard a conversation between two elder maids discussing the prince's plight. They say Prince Ikenna does not love the princess, one maid whispered, casting a cautious glance around. His heart lies elsewhere, yes, the other agreed, nodding sagely. But what can he do? The king's word is ironclad, and the alliance is crucial for Umada's strength. The words resonated deeply with Ogechi, reinforcing the impossible situation she found herself in. She realized that her love for Ikenna could lead to disaster, not only for herself but for the entire village. In the quiet hours of the night, Prince Ikenna made a bold decision. He sought out Ogechi once more, his resolve firm despite the risk. Ogechi, he began, determination etched into his features. I cannot go through with this marriage. We must find a way to be together. She looked at him, torn between her desires and the duty she knew they both must uphold. My prince, to defy the king is to invite ruin. We must think of Umada. But what of us? Ikenna countered, his voice a mixture of passion and frustration. What of our love? Their eyes locked, each aware of the fragile line they were walking. In that moment, Ogechi realized the depth of Ikenna's commitment and the magnitude of the choice before them. The night stretched on, with Ikenna and Ogechi deliberating their future. They spoke in hushed tones, formulating a plan that could alter the course of their lives forever. If we were to leave, Ikenna proposed, his mind racing with possibilities. We could start anew, away from the constraints of tradition. Ogechi hesitated, weighing the consequences of such a drastic action. And what of the village? What of the people who look to you for guidance? They will have to understand, he replied, his voice steady. I cannot live a lie, nor can I let you suffer because of my obligations. Their decision, though fraught with danger, offered a glimmer of hope amidst the encroaching shadows. Together, they plotted a course that would test the bounds of love, loyalty, and courage. Unknown to the young lovers, a shadow lurked in the corridors of the palace. One of the other maids, envious of Ogechi's closeness to the prince, had overheard their secret conversations and saw an opportunity to gain favor in the eyes of the king. She slipped away into the night, her mind filled with schemes that could change the fate of Ogechi and Prince Ikenna. The palace was about to become a battleground of love and betrayal, where every move held the potential for disaster.
And that's the end of this inspiring story. If you enjoyed this tale and the valuable lesson it teaches, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we post more educative and entertaining content. Your likes, comments, and shares with your family and friends are greatly appreciated. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we look forward to sharing more stories with you in the future. Remain blessed.